So I was asked to reflect on this experience of grief and transformation during this time of pandemic. And I was given an outline and I followed that somewhat. So obviously my perspective will be limited to my own context and experience and what I've heard from others. But I trust that much of this experience too will be somewhat common to us. Visitation province of the Congregation Notre, the English province is Visitation province, is currently 169 members. And we live across Canada from Nova Scotia to British Columbia. So from sea to sea. So what is our experience of grief? The reported deaths caused by Corona-19 are approaching 1 million persons worldwide. I checked today and it's 977,000. And we share with the world community an overwhelming sense of loss and fear in the face of this pandemic. We have not lost members of our province to the virus. However, there have been losses of family members and friends of sisters. And the possibility of an outbreak in one of our 7 facilities for senior care is something that I periodically think about and that causes me some distress. During the past 6 months, 5 sisters from our province died of natural causes. The experience of these deaths was disturbed by COVID-19. In the early days of the pandemic, with complete shutdown, we were troubled by the thoughts of sisters dying alone. And one of our sisters had a serious fall, which led to a brain bleed. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. Her local community had the added sorrow of knowing that she was alone at the hospital at the moment of her death, without the customary support of sisters' prayer and presence. This difficult experience, however, was softened by the words of the ambulance attendant, who recognized the sister as a former teacher of his and assured the sisters that he would treat her as he would his own mother. And there are so many stories of tender moments in this difficult journey with COVID. The health protocols around gatherings for wakes and the postponing of funerals and burials had significant impact on our sisters. Stephen Levine talks about unattended grief, and surely that was part of our experience. Feelings of grief and loss need to be experienced and transformed through the embodiment of communal rituals. Such familiar rituals help us face ultimate losses and place kindness and hope into the chasm of absence. During this time, many of our members are stripped of our ecclesial and cultural ways of appropriating grief. And just today, we buried a sister who was a member of the congregation for 73 years, and her friend who had lived with her for over 70 years in various convents, who was of sound mind and body. She was not able to go to the funeral, which is quite a suffering because she is in the long-term care. As time went on, the protocols at hospitals and our senior facilities evolved, and the acquisition of PPE allowed for degrees of contact that were somewhat safer and humane. For many of our members, losing regular access to Eucharist was a huge loss. And in some cases, meaningful liturgy and ritual continued. The void was filled as creative, skilled members of our congregation noted the need and began to offer us beautiful ways to pray together. In addition, many sisters shared online resources that nourished them spiritually. COVID-19 has raised a lot of questions about how we're able to manage and live with our experience of human vulnerability. In the face of pandemic, the feelings of insecurity seem to be ubiquitous. And here in Nova Scotia, the sense of insecurity deepened on April 18th and 19th. 1 month after the pandemic was announced, we were faced with an event that caused collective trauma for all of us. Portapique. This was Canada's worst mass shooting. The perpetrator set 16 fires in homes and vehicles. 25 people were shot and 22 died. How could this happen? We were shaken, I think. Many of us just couldn't believe it when we were hearing this on the radio as we got up in the morning, to hide, to not open our doors. One sister in active ministry shared with me that before this event, she had never worried about being alone in a house before. And the healing surrounding this tragedy is ongoing. I was asked about the strengths of our sisters, and I see a lot of courage and a sense of calm as I talk to sisters on the phone. They seem to be more concerned about the healthcare workers than themselves in view of illness spreading. And they appreciate greatly what's being done for them. That is their gift, I think, to us as leadership during this time of significant threat. They are calm and they are courageous. Another strength that I'm sure we all probably noticed is our spiritual life. Our well-cultivated interior life has assisted the sisters during the periods of isolation. Many spoke about the time of lockdown as being like an extended retreat. Sisters used the time for reading and reflection and praying for those that were ill and suffering. Isolation was easily transformed into solitude. I was asked about the changes in our reference points. Sisters in senior residences were confined to their room 24/7 for several months. Some it was close to 5 months. They have a little more freedom now. They suddenly lost their daily, weekly schedule of common meals, mass, socials, walks outside, and most of all, contact with family members and community members. The protection of our most vulnerable sisters was ensured, but at the cost of their personal freedom and diminished social interaction. And I want to note that this, of course, was also shared by all lay people in long-term care and various types of senior residents. The loss of connection to daily routines and community life was hard on all of our sisters, but particularly on those with dementia, anxiety, and other mental health challenges. One sister told a team member that her inner world had never been so dark. And to compound the situation, it was very difficult to get mental health assessment and treatment during this time. Another significant change in reference point for us as apostolic religious was the loss of our way of living mission and charism in the world. Several of our houses that had ministries attached to them needed to close during pandemic. A ministry to new Canadians in Toronto, a ministry of hospitality and support to cancer patients in Sydney, a retreat house in Summerside, and a newly opened house of welcome for young adults in Toronto. In addition, several sisters were also asked to step back from external ministries because their age placed them in a vulnerable status. Sisters volunteering in soup kitchens and such ministries. What are the challenges for leadership? I heard someone in the cafe room before mention this. Visitation of sisters is a huge problem. It's a problem for us. We are across Canada, but here our leadership lives within the Atlantic bubble. So almost half of our province members live in Quebec, Ontario, and Western Canada. Each visit outside our Atlantic bubble would involve us in a period of 14 days of self-isolation upon returning home. 60% of our members are living in senior care facilities, in which we are only able to visit one person for a short period of time by making an appointment days or a week ahead. We can't visit the whole community. How do you choose? This challenge also offers us an opportunity, though. I think it's fair to say that leadership is often pulled between two major tasks: the care of our elderly and sick, and animating mission and charism. The restrictions around travel and the visitation of sisters have opened up time and energy for other concerns. We have greater freedom to facilitate the mission and charism going forward. What has been the impact of the experience of COVID-19 on our perspectives? I think the first perspective I wonder about is the perspective of death. COVID-19 brings death close to all of us. It invites us to think about the grace of completion and to witness this radical part of our faith. Many of our members are advanced in years. They've lived full, rich lives and are in various states of diminishment. Henry Nouwen speaks of death as approaching the wall that becomes a door. Perhaps COVID-19 gives us a strange gift, the occasion to speak with each other about the meaning of our death, this ultimate passage of transformation. We should be good at it. Since Vatican II, religious have been dealing with death and rebirth, deconstruction, reconstruction. We frequently address the completion of significant parts of our lives and ministries. We know that completion is not a failure, but a natural part of the life cycle. In recognizing the need for things to come to completion, we honor the mystery of renewal, death, and rebirth. We witness its place in our personal and also in our collective lives. And I think we can offer this wisdom to our world, this bravery or courage to speak of completion as a grace. The second perspective is on our global reality. We are living in a unique time in which peoples throughout the world are not only experiencing the common threat of the pandemic, but we know also the great unrest of a series of common fronts where we experience assault. The ecological crisis, the political corruption, systemic racism, the need for ecclesial reform, and gross economic disparity. This movement of great collective breakdown in so many aspects of our lives came upon us. I think I knew that there had to be a limit to the disintegration that we were experiencing, but I thought surely not my lifetime. And yes, it has happened in our lifetime. We are part of the community of peoples called to address the breakdown and to begin to imagine and shape new alternatives that are more loving and just. And we know, if we think about it, that this is in our spiritual DNA, that we are made for this time. Religious life and our mission and charism, for the most part, emerged out of historic situations of profound social, political, and religious upheaval. All we have to do is look at the context in which our foundresses and founders acted in order to appreciate the chaotic conditions that often were motivating factors for the founding of their congregations. So this chaos, would it be the time and place for refounding of our mission and charism? And so finally, I wish to speak a little bit about darkness. 1 Corinthians, for now we see through a glass darkly. If we didn't realize that we were navigating in the dark before the pandemic, There is certainly no question of that now. COVID adds a layer of concern and uncertainty over everything. What about the possibility of a chapter? What about the entrance of a novice? The transition of sisters into full care facilities when they're closed down? The resumption of ministries. Can we do that? The renewal of employment contracts. As I reflect on our work as a team, I notice that we are making decisions differently. All deliberations must be seen from within this new context of COVID. I'm coming to see it as the what about COVID step. Knowing, though, that darkness has a solid place in our spiritual tradition is a great help. We recognize the current experience of disruption and impasse as signposts for the dark night. This classic spiritual path calls us to live radical trust in God's love and compassion, and to gradually learn new ways to live and travel in the dark. I am very grateful that we navigate these dark waters together, and that we have this CRC forum in which we can share our realities, reflect deeply, and experience mutual support.